Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesdays. Nice to see all of you. Hi, Graham. Hi, Dana. Hi, Ian. Thanks for joining. Okay, sorry about if there were any audio or video issues. My computer has been just so laggy, and yeah, it's been a test of my patience to try to deal with it. But I will send the link of the kirtan soon. Um, okay, so. Today, we can, I thought it'd be nice to talk about gratitude and as we go into Thanksgiving. But before we get started, I wanted to ask a quick icebreaker question. Can you all still hear me? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to ask a quick icebreaker question, and that was, what do you do to keep your inner child alive? It doesn't have to do with gratitude, but it's a fun question. And it can be anything that makes you feel enlivened or just happy or feel like you're a kid again. Um, so yeah, anybody wants to share? I was gonna say eat ice cream. That's always the one.
I would say doing things that I otherwise would not do. Like sometimes it could be like going to a carnival or like amusement park. Like it's even outside my comfort zone sometimes, but it's just like it makes me feel like a kid.
I love that. Did you say go to a carnival?
Yeah, like over the summer I had a chance to go to like this like boardwalk place in Santa Cruz.
Oh,
That was
is it the
really
Santa Cruz Boardwalk?
probably.
Okay. Oh, that's fun. I've been there. I had a good time too. They have like a bunch of like games and I went with a friend and would always lose. But it was just really fun and going from one game to another.
Yeah, it was fun.
Anyone else want to share?
I'd have to say, well, I've got a incorrigible sweet tooth that I have to watch out. And of course, my weakness, gulab jamun and ice cream. When you suggested that I try to, oh man, now I'm in deep trouble. But no, other than that, I play video games. And,
Sweet.
yeah, so, but I just like going, to festivals. I mean, this is where I met Ayan, and as it was an Indian festival in Redmond,
Hmm.
and just sampling the foods, and oh, I was yeah definitely and it wasn't outside my comfort zone. I'm comfortable in those situations.
I love that. I didn't know you played video games, Graham. That sounds fun.
I'm an incorrigible. I mean, I like these role playing games, where you're you know solving puzzles, you're going on quests and that sort of thing.
Mm, I love that. I've never just gotten into board like video games. I don't know why, but it seems fun. My brother plays them all the time. But
Well, I used to work for Nintendo, so
oh,
part of the gameplay counseling was playing some of these games and getting good at it. And then people would call up, "Hey, how do I get through this section here?" Okay, well, you want to go turn here, and you want to jump over this rock here. Hit that button there.
wow, I didn't know that. That sounds fun. Oh my God.
And then board games. I like board games. Of course, your traditional Monopoly. Now, with my daughter, I've played a lot of variations. Uh, One is the Lord of the Rings version,
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
my daughter was really little. She'd get upset at losing. And then I would tell her, look, I lost this game against you, and you don't see me complaining.
Oh my God. Honestly, I would always win against my parents, so I never had that phase. And my brother would just cry because he would never win a game, and then he'd be like, "I'm never playing with you." I'm like, okay. Anyways, all right. So we have like a week to Thanksgiving-ish, a little less than a week, I think. Somehow it's always lands on a Thursday or something.
Yeah,
But
it's always going to be a Thursday.
right? Okay. Is that a sorry, I'm maybe uneducated about this, but does that have a significance or
It does. I mean, all I remember is it was the last Thursday of November.
Oh, right, right. Okay, okay. That's
And of
probably
course,
why.
there's Black Friday, and
Yes.
I remember thinking, wow, I like Thanksgiving better than Christmas because Christmas you only get, Christmas Day off. You get New Year's Day, but Thanksgiving, wow, you get, Black Friday. So it's a 4-day weekend.
Right, right. I love that. Okay, that actually makes sense. Okay. Well, I just had a quick presentation to share, and I thought we could talk about a little bit of gratitude and then have some journaling prompts. So this, I just wrote Magic of Gratitude, but then I thought like another title was better suited, which I wrote as Appreciation Appreciates, and I'll share where I got that from in a bit. Um, okay, so oh, okay, so I wanted to start by sharing a quote by Radhat Swami that I really like, and it goes like this. Gratitude is a quality of the heart in which we can spiritually grow in every situation. But without gratitude, even in the most favorable situation, we cannot really progress. So, talking a little bit about what is gratitude and why we express it. So, when I think about gratitude, I think about expressing appreciation to something or someone. And it is in that feeling of appreciation that we really have strong feelings towards something and we really feel grateful. But I want to talk a little more about why express it because a lot of us know what gratitude is, but we sometimes fail to not express it as much as we want to or mean to. So these are some points that I found from a talk about gratitude from a Bhakti Yoga teacher. And they were talking about these 3 points. And they were that you become more conscious of what you have, then you connect with a person, a human or divine that you feel grateful to, and then you immediately feel how your heart and vision widens. And I feel like this is such a butterfly effect that I've noticed in terms of appreciation that when you lend a hand or you say something sweet to another person, it really makes their day and it makes yours too because you're like, oh, wait, I had an impact on someone's day. And then with that love in their heart, they're like, when you get so much love, you want to give back. Um, and that's just a fact. I feel in any community, you're like, oh my God, this community gave me so much. I want to give back. That's why a lot of people start donating to causes that have helped them. So I feel like even with gratitude, it's you get so much love and you want to give that gratitude back, whether it be to the same person or passing it forward. So your heart and vision really widens and kind of having that butterfly effect. And then we can think, wait, I have nothing to be grateful for. This is happening in my life. This is happening. I just don't have anything to be grateful for. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been here a lot, and it feels guilty, but I've been there, and maybe all of you have also. But these are some things that helped me get out of that slump and open my heart to something bigger. And the first one is that we are opportunity blind. This idea that materialism, this material world that we're living in, makes us believe that we can only find happiness in material things. And this idea that the more things we have, the happier we will be. So if we don't have those particular things, then we think that I have nothing to be grateful for because I don't have this, this, and this. And I feel like it's vetted in such an idealistic society that we need some things to be truly happy. Um, but again, Bhakti Yoga is another perspective to that. It's like, it's not the external. It's like, if you know who you are, then you can genuinely be happy. And the second one is that from the lens of the wisdom literatures, is kind of what I was talking about, that the most important thing to be thankful for is having a purpose for living. You know how many times people just walk in the morning going to work, 8 a.m., they're running for something, but I'm telling you, half of them don't know why they're running and where they're going. And not saying that we do completely, but when I remember when I was in Chicago and I was just catching a bus, it was like 8 a.m. and I saw everyone going to work here and there and hustling and bustling. But the fact of the matter is that we're all seeking for that happiness, but we still need to find a purpose for living. And if we have that, even an iota of sincerity that we can somehow find in our heart, that's like, okay, this is my purpose. And I'm like, okay, I'm grateful for that. At least I have something to dedicate myself to. And I know it's a good cause. So that's something to be grateful for. Another thing is that being thankful amidst adversity. And this stems from something called victim mindset. Maybe you guys have heard about it. Like victim means when you say me, like why is this happening to me? I am this, I am that. I'm very, very happy to tell you that I am a product of this mindset. I suffer with this a lot. Whenever something happens, I try to um, pity myself for it. But I really, really like this question, and it helped me get out of this and broaden my perspective and find things to be grateful for. And that is redirecting that victim mindset of why me to what is the lesson. So redirecting your heart to fix on the gifts of life. Like, what is the lesson? What can I take from this situation? And it may sound idealistic, but even if you feel like you have some kind of victim mindset in a situation, just ask the question, what is the lesson? You don't need an answer. Just take it as like a band that you have with you. And whenever something happens, you're like, okay, what is the lesson? Maybe you won't feel the transformation immediately, but it can help in trying to get out of it. So here's some inspirations I found from the Gita that helped me. This is from Bhagavad Gita 2.47. We have some time, so maybe I'll read the Sanskrit or try to. Karmanyavadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalaheturbhur ma te sangosva karmani. You have a right to perform your prescribed duties, but you're not entitled to the fruits of your actions. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your activities, nor be attached to an action. Another one, so just explaining, so this verse emphasizes how performing our duty without detachment from the outcome fosters a sense of satisfaction. And a lot of teachers also emphasize this in class, like, oh, don't worry about the grade and just do your effort and it'll work out. So it's that same mindset that instead of focusing on the result, we're focusing on our action. And that truly gives a sense of satisfaction in that way. Um, let's see. There was some. All right. Okay, I'm gonna jump to this and maybe come back to the inspiration so if we have some time, because I want to leave some time for journaling. Okay, so this is the quote that the title was uh came from. So whatever you appreciate appreciates. And I gave some kind of example. So like someone holding an umbrella for another person, or when you walk in a store and someone opens the door for you and you're like, oh, how nice of you. Like, wow, you feel loved and appreciated. Or, well, I hope this never happens to you guys, but you fall down and then someone gives you a hand to get up. Um, so yeah, it expands. Okay, now I want to talk about how gratitude can be practiced. So we are not born with gratitude, I feel. We are, it's something to be cultivated. I feel that. Um, and that's why when you're kids, your parents may tell you, hey, say thank you. Like, your parents give you statements to follow in hopes that those statements become habits and then an internal realization of why it's important to say those things. And, like when you order something or you get something from another person, like my mom would be like, okay, say thank you and thank you. And then it is just really helpful. So I feel like just as those times we were instructed by others to follow it, we can practice it still in our life. And I've tried gratitude journaling sometimes. It helps me. And that's one of the ways I practice it. So every night I used to write what I'm grateful for. But a lot of times I just sometimes say it out loud. Because sometimes journaling can feel daunting, like, oh, I don't want to journal or I don't have time for it. Sometimes I used to, before going to sleep, I'd be like, okay, what am I grateful for? And just say it out loud in the air. And I was like, okay, I've gotten something out of my chest and I feel so much better because I have things to be grateful for. Um, so it can be practiced, and the best thing is to get a journal. I'm trying to find one of my journals, but I have like this one and then I have a pen. So get yourself one of those because it really helps to feel connected to a piece of paper in a world of digital things. Oh, okay. All right. So this is most of the time I wanted us to dedicate to, which is setting our intentions in hopes that we find that gratitude within us. So it's like, what are your top three priorities, or what are you thankful for that has helped you grow? And then two more questions. So if you all are able to and have a piece of paper with you or have access to a computer, it'd be nice if we can just take this time to jot down our ideas and then come back. So I was thinking we could do um the first two and then we'll go to the second two. So it's like, what are your top three priorities? And then what are you thankful for that has helped you grow? And it's a more intimate space, so feel free to share. But if you don't want to share everything, that's okay too, and you can kind of keep that within yourself personally. So yeah, sorry, that was a lot of talking from my end, but I'm gonna give us like 5 minutes-ish to do the first two, or 5, 10 minutes. And yeah. All right, we can come back. Um, Hopefully you all liked the flute music. I thought it was reflective, so I was trying to look for it. No. Okay. All right, well, talking about our top three priorities, and then what are you thankful for that has helped you grow? We can discuss any of those or any reflections you all have from anything we talked about or anything you want to share that's related to this.
I can share what I wrote for my top three priorities. It was actually helpful because I feel like these are all things I want to work on, but writing it down really just quantifies it so much more. So my first one was to scroll less and spend less time on screens when I don't need to be spending time on them. The second was to focus on building a schedule that fosters spiritual growth. And the third was to be physically healthy and invest time now so I don't have to struggle later.
Mm. Wow, that was so not vague. And that was really mine were so vague. I was like, help. But you're so right. That's nice. I love the part that you said about having a schedule that fosters spiritual health. That's something I need to work on too. I wrote having a good morning routine and kind of the same lines as the schedule part that you said. I feel like my mornings become rushed when all I'm doing is waking up and then going to do the work I'm supposed to without taking the time for myself. So I tried this and I saw this from SB Keshav Swami, who we've put a talk out before on Wisdom Wednesdays too. And he was talking about this 15-15 method where it's like 15 minutes you read, 15 minutes you move, 15 minutes you like write. So he talked about these like different things that you can do of 15-15 of in the morning before you start off your day. So um yeah, that's one of my priorities to have a good morning routine. And I tried following that, which really helped me. Oh, Grandma, I think you're muted if you're trying to speak.
Wow, I was hitting my space bar and nothing was happening. Okay. Um, on a side note, you touched on this, especially this part where you just rush into work, or you notice people are they're just in this existence where, to me, I call it the treadmill existence.
Hmm.
Got to get to work on time. Got to get my work done. Got to get my bills paid, um, so I can get up every morning and go to work and earn more money to pay my bills, pay my mortgage, pay my car, all this. And there's more to life than the treadmill existence.
Mm.
Essentially, what you're saying. Um, I'd have to say, as far as priorities, um, improve my health, and I'm doing that in several ways. I'd like to put more time for yoga, but I do Tai Chi, and um, that's one. Just walking around sometimes, but also another priority is to facilitate my daughter's education.
Mm.
She's getting an accounting degree. And,
Wow.
I'd like to see her finish that degree and get her school done and get a well-paying job, not just for material wealth, but again, gives you a more stable base where you can
Mm.
expand. And
Yeah.
I think, and then that's my third priority is to grow. And I'm saying that in very general terms, but Ayan was more specific as far as the employment situation. But for me, it would be just to grow um, up here as well as spiritually.
Hmm.
I mean, continue to explore the world around me for as long as I can. I have to say, things that I'm grateful for, that I've utilized my background, which would be my education,
Mm.
also experiences.
Yeah.
I did teach English in Japan for 2 years, and I'd like to think that that has lent itself, not just the teaching aspect, but the fact that I lived in a culture that was different from my own.
Right.
I mean, aside from spending 10 weeks in Peru,
Hmm.
that gave me, I'd have to say, that gave me the ability to just almost flow in comparison with what I was doing. I mean, taking Spanish in high school, it was the teachers that I had were very good, but it was drill and repeat, drill and repeat, drill and repeat. And then we had these tables where we'd do conjugation, which I'm sure you're familiar with. But going down there and then coming back, and I don't say this to brag, but I had a better accent than the instructor did in community college. And I thought, wait a minute, this person had, anyway, she teaches the language, but she teaches grammar.
Hmm.
Um, so, I mean, it's a skill set that I didn't want. I mean, I was off practice for a while and then got it back. Um, I have to say, can't even read my. Oh, um, making good decisions.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
would be the education. I don't know. If I had to do it all over again, I probably would have gone a different route. But I mean, the education part is good, but I mean, I studied analog photography, and you talk about developer and stop path, and people go, "Huh? What?" When I take a picture, I just take my phone and click.
That's funny. So that's what you studied in college?
That's what I studied in community college, and then
Hmm.
went to work for a while, and then went to Japan, taught there, came back, finished up school, and the degree that I got has nothing to do with what I do today.
Mhm.
Same thing with, I don't, I'm not a photographer. The
Right.
closest I got to that was working in a 1 hour lab. And of course, you're thinking, 1 hour lab, what's that? Well, that's where you take your analog film in and you have them process it, and these machines would process it and print them out in an hour.
That sounds interesting. But it feels like outdated a little bit.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, it's still there are still people that do it as a hobby, but you don't do it if you want pictures. You just take a picture with a digital camera and it's there. Whereas you take your film, and I don't know if you're familiar with the process, but it's silver. It's silver compounds that are photosensitive, and the developer brings out that image, and essentially it reduces it to grains of silver. That's the dark part of a photograph that you see,
Mhm.
old black and white pictures. Now, well, then when color film came out, then it's dyes. So, went through this process. I mean, it was photosensitive, it was silver, but then all the silver gets bleached out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had that experience. And
Hmm.
when you look at old photographs, you also see grain. Well, those grains in the image, that is the silver.
Mm,
And it's on this gelatin emulsion, essentially.
I see. Wow.
So, and I've had a fairly, steady career. Um, could be better, but it was fairly steady. And we've been, we've lived at the same place for a long time. I mean, my daughter was born here.
Hmm.
And then, let's see, I can't even read my own writing. Okay, my activities. Um, well, I do Tai Chi.
Mm.
I also have acupuncture sessions, but just I'm also studying. I should be more diligent, but for amateur radio, I like to get on the air, be able to talk with people across the world. I mean, we do it on the internet here because, well, Manya, you're where now?
I'm right now in Illinois.
Okay, you're back in Illinois. Okay,
Yeah. I'm actually visiting Seattle soon, though.
okay.
So, yeah, anyways.
But amateur radio is where and of course, back in the good old days, I mean, it was all analog. I mean, there's still analog communications, but it's um, it's something that I'd like to pursue. Um, I've always been fascinated with scanners. In other words, police scanners, or I've got a scanner that picks up aircraft.
Mm.
These guys coming in, and I mean, they're flying in. and you hear them use their technical jargon, but I don't know, that's been fascinating to me. And then also, um, I got this partially from my dad, who would listen to ships coming in and out of Puget Sound,
Mm,
and he would pick those. You know, he had this one scanner that would pick up these transmissions, and okay, well, this ship is coming in; they're going into Seattle. And yeah, you would, with Puget Sound being so long, you could hear them, coming in practically at the Straits of Juan de Fuca and
mm.
out of Seattle. So, and then this group, we
Yay! We made it to your list.
definitely, I wanted to put that as the capstone.
Uh, Thanks, Graham. We're grateful for you too. All right, well, we have two more questions, and I thought maybe we could get those in too. So maybe like 5 minutes and then discussion. So I'll get our flute music going again. So it's what are some challenges you faced while practicing gratitude? And then what simple intentional practice can you try to incorporate in your routine to remind yourself to be grateful each day? Um, yeah. All right. come back and discuss anything you all wrote and want to share. So, any challenges you faced in practicing? Is there anything that you want to do moving forward to bring in a little bit of gratitude and appreciation in your day? I can start us off. I guess the biggest challenge I faced in practicing gratitude is that my perspective is too limited at the present moment. It's that I'm so heated up by my emotions at that current state where I am that I'm not able to broaden my perspective and think outside of the box. So, in that limited perspective, I feel that I'm ungrateful or I don't have anything, but I don't have the ability to broaden it because I'm just so emotional in that moment, or I'm just so heated up if I'm mad about something that happened. So I was thinking like the biggest challenge is just that sometimes it's so hard for me to broaden my perspective because I'm stuck in that loop of looking beyond it, if that makes sense. Yeah, so that's one thing that's been holding me back sometimes.
I can share. Um, I think for me the biggest challenge is that it's easy to got tongue twisted there. It's easy to get lost in the now and next and forget the big picture of life.
Mm.
Um, it's really easy to limit our vision to just today or tomorrow or this week or this month or even this year, that we forget that we are beings here for a set number of years, maybe 60, 70, if you're lucky, 80, and 90 or 100. um, but there's a big picture to life, and if you forget that, I feel like it's easy for life to go by in 2 seconds. I mean, if we look at the age of the earth and our existence on this planet, it is gone in a millisecond,
Mhm.
and life can flash by at that speed if we don't realize the value to our life, how to use it, and how to be grateful for it.
Mm. What was this first thing that you said about stuck between? Was it now and then or?
It's easy to get lost in the now and next.
Okay, I like that. I'm gonna write it down. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, in perspective, everything feels like you don't you, like we don't have much time in that way, but also we have so much to be grateful for because of that too.
Mhm. Yeah.
I like that positive twist that you gave to the situation. Yeah. Graham, you want to share something?
I'd have to say yes, getting stuck in the now and next, but also inertia,
Mm.
um, random events. I mean, you've got this. Okay, I've got this plan. Oh no, this is happening. Oh no, and again, this is part of us getting caught up in the now. Um, yeah, and thinking, okay, well, what resources do I have?
Mm.
And also resentment, touching on what you were talking about, getting emotional.
Mm. Like regret, resentment.
Yeah, I just want to say this, Manya. I've always seen you as wise beyond your years.
That's funny.
Well, good. uh, I mean, that's just the impression you get. Maybe in your private moments when you get frustrated about something, you're all too human. We're all human.
Thank you.
Absolutely. As far as putting this into practice, just setting aside time.
Hmm.
I've heard people say in this group, establishing a routine, breathe.
Yeah. That's a big one.
That and yeah, and just kind of put yourself. Well, this is what meditation is all about. You kind of putting things on hold here because you're taking a look at yourself. It's self-reflection and realizing, okay, this is what I have accomplished. This is what I have going for me. And yes, I mean, we live in uncertain times, and who knows what where we're going to be next year, let alone a month or two from now.
Mhm. Yeah.
But also giving of yourself. And I've had, I think I've mentioned some of these instances where the receptionist at the office when I was working downtown for a while,
Mhm.
um, she just asked me to help her change her, well, um, open up the oil, the filler
Mhm.
pipe
I
for her
think you
oil.
told us about this too. Yeah.
Well, I had a similar experience also Sunday after I finished Tai Chi. This lady drives up in this Lexus and um, she said, I can't get the cap off the gas cap. Um, so I helped her with that, and then she couldn't get her credit card to work. So I, assisted her with that. And she was grateful, but I did not expect anything. She didn't give me anything, and it doesn't matter. The fact
Right.
that I helped her out.
Hmm.
And it's the same with this person at the office.
Hmm.
And that's where I say giving of yourself.
Right. That's really sweet. I feel like when you're like healed within yourself, then giving also comes naturally because like when you're situated and you're like, okay, I don't have a lot of, or you're not, consumed by that ego or false ego that you're like, oh, I just want to give. And I'm sure she keeps that with her too. Like, I would imagine if someone helped me, I'd be like, I was struggling, but this nice person came and helped me. Like, you know, I would remember them. And I'm sure she remembers you, even if you guys don't know each other like that. So that's very sweet of you, Graham. Thanks for sharing that. Something that I wrote to put in my schedule, um, was to try to appreciate something or someone every day. Um, I have some type of checkpoint for myself of doing that. I know it feels weird to try to track gratitude, but I feel like it's a part of the process in practicing it because until I track it or until I check in with myself, it can get lost. So that's what I wanted to do. Um, to try to do that. So yeah, that's what I wrote. Well, thank you everybody for being part of this reflection slash discussion and bearing with me as I shared some things that helped me. Um, and I hope this session helped you and helped to gear you up for Thanksgiving next week and you can spend it with your friends and family, or even if you're away from them, you can feel grateful for them for all that they've done for you. Yeah, we do have Soulfest this week. We don't have Soulfest next week because of Thanksgiving weekend, but then we're doing a special Thanksgiving Soulfest next, like after Thanksgiving. Um, it's hard, but I think Aya knows the dates better than I do.
Yes, on December 6th, we have the Thanksgiving Soul Fest. And I will say, Dana, I know that you aren't here, but we do live stream the events. I just sent a link to the recording of last week's, and I think we finally have the live stream like audio tuned in. So hopefully it's sounds good. So if you want to join us virtually or even live on the day of our kirtans, you're more than welcome to, and we'd be glad if you were able to join us.
Yeah.
And same goes for you, Graham. I know it's sometimes hard for you to make it, but yeah, you can subscribe to us on YouTube and follow along.
Thanks, Ian. Yeah, I love following their YouTube page. They have the best quality content. All right. Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you next week at Wisdom Wednesdays. And we'll have an exciting speaker, I promise, next week.
Thank you, everybody.